Hey there, team. Okay, so this is part two of our sugar cravings series. And so today we are talking about blood sugar imbalances. So, our blood sugar is basically the energy that is available in our bloodstream to the nearby tissues. So, we're going to talk about how this becomes imbalanced and how to prevent imbalanced blood sugar. Or most of the time, we're talking about low blood sugar. So, blood sugar is the available energy in our blood system. If this gets too low, so this is like most things in our body likes to tightly regulate things. So if our blood sugar goes way too out of range, it likes it in a narrow range. If it goes up too high or too low, the body tries to fix that fairly quickly, and that's when we can get cravings. So if our blood sugar just drops really suddenly, we'll get shaky, we'll get hangry. If it gets low enough, you can faint and lose consciousness, but most of the time that's when a lot of people's sugar cravings come in. So a perfect, unfortunate example of this is when we have like cereal for breakfast, that's just sugary cereal, milk, no protein, no fat, and then we have a coffee, and then maybe that was breakfast, and then at like 10 o'clock, 9 o'clock, we're hangry again, so we go grab a sugary coffee from the corner shop, and then I'm starving 2 hours later for lunch, and so I have like a bagel, maybe cream cheese, maybe, and then I'm hungry again, or better yet, falling asleep at 3 o'clock because you have no energy. And then you are just ravenous for dinner and you eat the entire fridge, overeat, feel stuffed, and not so great. Okay, so that's a very typical standard American pattern of eating, unfortunately, and that very effectively promotes imbalanced blood sugar. So we want to avoid that because that's very stressful from the body when we are going from, our dropping blood sugar and then we get a fix. And so maybe I get that sugary coffee and it shoots my blood sugar right up, and then I get hyper and then it crashes again. So we're kind of going this roller coaster all day long. We really want to avoid that. So to prevent that, we want to have balanced meals. This is when we're going to have protein, ideally at every meal. Protein's like a long burning fuel source. It keeps your stomach full for longer. It helps repair muscles. It helps regulate appetite. It's a little slower to go through your digestive system, through the stomach, which is a good thing. It keeps us full for longer, and it doesn't affect our blood sugar. So if we have a chunk of protein versus like a chunk of sugar, sugar is going to shoot it up. Protein, it's not really going to affect it very much. Similar for fat as well. So that's why we want to have protein, lots of colorful vegetables, a lot of nutrition, a lot of color in there as far as plants, and then a fat source at most of our meals as well. And then when we're talking about starchier carbohydrates, we want to put those around exercise so we use that ready available energy. And we can better recover from workouts as well. If we have those starchy carbs post-workout, that's when you best absorb those starchier, sugary, higher carb type foods. So hopefully this gives you a picture into how blood sugar can kind of affect our cravings. If we are having those low lows, I highly encourage you to track your food. Use the Chronometer app that you've seen a million times on this email list, chronometer.com. Highly recommend you subscribe to the gold version because one of the things that you can do is you can actually test your own blood sugar. Just get a blood sugar glucometer. It'll prick your finger. You can get it from a drugstore, really cheap. And you can see your fasting blood sugar in the morning. So just prick your finger first thing in the morning. You can have like a glass of water or something like that. You might be a little dehydrated. But then first thing before you eat anything. And if that first reading is optimal readings are 82 to 89. That's like A++. If you're 90 to 99, that's okay. That's considered normal for functional medicine ranges. That's starting to get a little bit high if you're in the 99s constantly. A lot of other factors can contribute to that, but if you're over 100 to 125 milligrams per deciliter, that is the pre-diabetic range. And that happens quite a bit. And it might not even get, much response for your doctor because it's fairly common, and they'll just say, watch your carbs, watch your sugar. And this can happen for people that exercise, eat generally pretty well. This can sneak up on you. But that's something you can easily test at home. Like I said, in the Chronometer, there's lots of apps for it, but Chronometer, you can log your blood sugar. You can even track it throughout the day and see how you react to the foods that you're eating. You might find that like, whoa, that blood show I was having is actually kind of high in carbs. Maybe that's why I'm crashing at 3 o'clock and I'm so tired because I had a big bowl of carbs for lunch, and then I feel like I need a snack a little while later. So check your food. If you're looking for a specific protein recommendation, usually I just start with making sure that you have a protein source at every meal. If you want to get more detailed than that, start to look at either percentages, so like 20 to 30% of your total calories are coming from protein. If more than 45 or 50% of your calories are coming from carbs, you're probably a little imbalanced. Most people do really well with about 30% to 45% of their total calories coming from carbs. But again, that's pretty relative. So for protein, you can look at your ideal body weight, or if you're at a healthy weight, you can look at 0.8 to 1 gram per pound of body weight is the amount of grams that you can look to aim to eat as far as protein. So it's a little bit more detailed, but again, if you're tracking on the app, that'll start to make more sense. But hopefully that was helpful in how to squash those sugar cravings. If we just have a little bit more balanced meals, that can usually do the trick. And especially if you notice a particular time of day that you start having worse sugar cravings, try to increase protein at just that meal beforehand and see if that works. All right, hopefully this was helpful. If you guys have any questions, please let me know, but I look forward to seeing you in the next email.